Hello, everyone. Jerry here. It is day 39 of the fasting. Oh, tomorrow I get to eat. Yay! I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Yes. Today I would like to talk about, in my excitement, in all of the ketones that I'm burning, excitement and energy, I would like to talk about the perils, warning signs, concerns, I don't know if I can fast issues that I have. I'm just getting on the freeway, so here goes. It's cold, but the freeways are fabulous. Okay, number one concern is you're going to be thirsty. You're going to be thirsty. And in conjunction with the thirst, you're also going to be urinating a lot in the beginning because you're not eating the carbs. You're not eating anything. And just in case people don't understand, and some people don't get it when I make this comment, but it's the truth. Ask a doctor, because I'm not a doctor. There is sugar in beef. There's sugar in meat. There is sugar in our body that God has designed when He designed us and made us to be able to function, because our body needs sugar. But the sugar that our body makes is quite enough if need be. Like I told you guys before, if I went on Survivor, I would lose weight. And so would you. If you were dropped in the middle of a deserted island, you would lose weight. And so would I. If you were in the hospital and unable to eat other than the tube that they feed you, the insurer or whatever type of stuff that they put in the tubes these days in hospitals, you would probably lose weight too. Any diet, you would lose weight. I'm specifically talking about my fasting on a yearly basis weight loss of, historically, it's been anywhere from 20 to 25 pounds. So at my job, we were discussing this yesterday. At my job, they used to have a program, a contest, if you will. And it was called Hang On Through the Holidays. And it would start from Thanksgiving, we would weigh in before Thanksgiving. And it would end after Christmas. But again, I would stay fasted until January 11th, for my mother's birthday, which is tomorrow. I would win every year. And the people were disenchanted. Hey, it's anybody can enter the contest. It's not a matter of, oh, Jerry, you've won before, whatever the case may be. No, and you would probably do the same thing too. I really was out to prove a point, because in the break room and even on the shop floor, the amount of stuff that people eat at my job is insane. And I'll tell you, when somebody else eats carbs and it goes through one's digestive system, enough said. So the water is going to be needed, and you're going to have to, in my opinion. I love Keto Chow fasting drops and Keto Chow electrolytes. It's in my bag every day. It has been part of my routine every morning to make a quart of bubble water and adding in the fasting drops and the electrolytes. When I'm still thirsty during the course of the day, I put a couple of drops of, if I'm out of bubble water, of the electrolytes or fasting drops into my water. And that's fine. So yesterday, I did not do it. I didn't do it. And this morning, yikes, my left leg paid the price. And I haven't had cramps in my left leg like that, the type that kind of distort your foot kind of cramps. So I haven't had those, and I needed some help lickety-splickety. So I went into the kitchen and I took a shot glass, like the kind that I tricked my husband with the Lakanto syrup. I took 2 ounces of, well, I had the 2-ounce shot glass, and I put in a cap full of the electrolytes, and then the rest was water, and I threw it in my head. That nipped it in the bud right away. But Dad told me, Jack said at 5 o'clock this morning, what's wrong? I said, cramps. He goes, I know why. Because we were doing stuff at the hospital, and you didn't have your bottled water with you, which I didn't. So be prepared. That's number 2. Be prepared when you fast. Bring your Keto Chow fasting drops. Bring your Keto Chow electrolytes. I also take the daily minerals, and I've limited myself to a tablespoon of that into my water because I'm not eating anything. I'm not getting any vitamins. I don't do supplements. But I think it's important, and I love to support Keto Chow. I will include my link down below. If you have not tried the Keto Chow liquid electrolyte drops, I buy the big bottle because of the 40-day fasting. And I buy the big bottle of electrolytes, and of course I buy the quart bottle of the minerals, but I think I'm going to go with the capsules next time as opposed to the liquid. I understand that you have to have more capsules, but I'm going to try those minerals instead. Okay, number 3. If you can't get, until the delivery comes, your fasting drops, your minerals, or your electrolyte drops from Keto Chow, it's either coming in the mail, you can make, it's pronounced 2 ways, Soul Water or Soleil. I've heard it pronounced both ways. That is something that you make by yourself, and basically what you're doing is you're extracting all the salt, the electrolytes from the salt, and some people also use the Himalayan pink salt, those rocks too. You have those from Redmond's too, the Redmond's, the big chunky salts. Another good thing to do is, in a pinch, and I do mean pinch, take a pinch of the Redmond's salt chunks. I've also seen people, because there are salt licks out there for humans, not the horses and not the deer salt licks, but I have seen people licking their salt from a bar or a stick to try to get their electrolytes. I prefer the pinch method, like tobacco, a pinch between the cheek and the gum, but I put mine underneath my tongue and that melts. And that also gives me, only gives me the salt that I need, but it nips cravings right in the bud. If I would think about, and I did not, if I would think about, say, chocolate, I just pop a couple of those underneath my tongue, let it melt, and there goes. Number 4, be prepared after a certain amount of time. Couple of things. If you take too many electrolytes, be prepared to go to the bathroom, and I don't mean peace. Run, don't walk. Not only will you have to go to the bathroom to pass water a lot in the beginning, and they call it keto flu. I'm seeing people now that are 10 days into the carnivore, because it's carnivore month, into the carnivore diet that are still calling it keto flu. But if you stock up early and you prepare yourself early, preparedness is key. You won't have that keto chow flu. Sometimes, we're still on number 4. Sometimes even though you're not eating anything, you wonder, why do I still have to go number 2 so often? And what in the world is in me that I have to keep going number 2 often? Your colon carries a lot of debris. That's the beauty of the creation that God has created in our bodies. It's cleaning itself. You're fasting, you're cleaning yourself, autophagy of any unwanted stuff. And in this case, when you're going to the bathroom, it's normal. And even me, this morning, the same thing. Haven't eaten anything, and I'm still going to cleanse myself in the bathroom, shall we say. Don't know. Excited about eating. Number 5, I'll say because I'm not a health coach, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a professional to be able to speak about this. I'm just giving you my opinion, everyone. I sometimes experience difficulty in swallowing when I first start eating. So that when you do, like I'll be doing tomorrow, start eating, you gotta start slow. You have to start with maybe bulletproof coffee like I am doing. You might have to start with maybe bone broth and sip that for a while. I know you've been drinking in my case, I've been drinking for 40 days. But once I start to introduce the solids, i.e. the scrambled eggs and the butter, I know I'm going to have a difficult time swallowing because that hasn't worked. My swallowing has worked, but the muscle, it's smaller. I mean, let's be frank, it hasn't been used for anything other than liquids. So I'm going to have to go slow so I don't choke. Number 5. Is that number 5? Number 6. You will, once eating again, you will probably gain water weight. I still step on the scale during the entire process, even though I'm not eating anything, just to check myself. And I know that I'm going to start putting on some probably water weight gain because of, I don't know, the whey, say, in the butter that I consume, perhaps. And usually the scale does go up. But right now I am at 20-pound weight loss. Again, for me, that's typical. I've had bigger years before, especially the first year. I want to say the first year that I started fasting, I lost 30 pounds, but that was the first year that I started fasting 14 years ago. It's really not that hard. You have to mentally prepare yourself. I did, like every doctor advises on YouTube, I did consult my physician, and my physician knew about it. So it wasn't like I just went into the doctor and said, listen, I'm fasting, take it or leave it, whatever the case may be. No, I had a complete physical done because it's part of the annual end of the year physical for me at the job. So I did have that done. He says, okay, warned me of all the perils of fasting, etc. I took his words because, of course, he's the medical professional and I'm not. I took his words and I said, okay, if something happens, I will stop the fast. I have that common sense enough to be able to stop the fast, like I did last year. Number 6, be prepared when you fast to have super duper extraordinary, I can't explain it, supernatural energy. So much that if I didn't have the bone on bone issue right now with the hip, I would probably do stairs all the time in my house. I would probably walk more. And for me, that's my type of exercise. It's easy. And people like Kelly Hogan talk about the importance of walking. It's so easy. Right after a meal, within the hour after a meal, just get up and walk. The simplest, easiest exercise you could possibly do. The energy, it's just phenomenal. I have a dark side to the energy that I've experienced, and that dark side would be sleeping. It's a super long fast, more so than anybody normally does. People will do 24, 72, those type, a week fast, a 5-day fast, whatever the case may be, for their own personal reasons. But this 40-day fast, I'm not going to tell anybody to do it. People have done it. People have done it for a month. The sleep for me is poor. The last couple nights, it's been 5 hours sleep. I woke up at 5 in the morning and I'm up wide awake. Nothing to do. Let me turn the car off here. Wide awake, just bouncing energy. So I got up and I drank some bubble water again. Made sure I put, this time, double dose of fasting drops in because of the leg cramps yesterday. Don't expect that you're going to not or have sleepless nights like I do. Maybe you're going to be more physically fit. So I would tell people in the fasting process, if you're so inclined and have all that energy, walk. Just walk. You get your mind off of eating. You do stuff like I'm doing YouTube videos. My mind is off of food, has been off of food. Love talking about it. I love watching Chris Cooking Nashville and Alicia DiStefano and Victor's Southern Kitchens. I love all the food things. Though when I watch Food Network nowadays, you understand that when you guys and girls and ladies and people and gentlemen eat a proper human diet and you see the Food Network professional chefs using the canola oil and mixing all the things with the flour and the lard, which is fine, not with flour, and making the sugared frostings, understand that when I ate keto, have whipped my own lard. I've gotten the process of filtering it 4 times. I think the last time I made it, I filtered it 4 times. And I use the powdered Lakanto, maybe some stevia. Not all stevia, because then you're going to have that funky aftertaste. So do use 2 type of sweeteners. Definitely vanilla I put in there. And I whipped the living daylights out of it. And I made this super fluffy frosting. Super wonderful. I did add a couple of mix-ins. Sometimes with the frosting. When I wanted cream cheese frosting, I had cream cheese with the tallow, with the sweeteners and the vanilla. Made it lighter, made it fluffier. When I did use butter, that didn't prove as successful in my opinion. That was a little more slicker, a little bit more, I don't know, shall I say even greasy? Because I know tallow is grease, it's fat. But I have done that, and I suggested to Victor, and I'm sure Victor's going to come up with his own concoction. So I added in some cream cheese. I added in some cottage cheese that I whipped until smooth. I added in sour cream. Whatever I had in the refrigerator to make the frosting, I did it. Egg yolk, tallow. Listen, guys, if you want to experiment with making a keto, because it's really not carnivore, it's not, because you're adding the sweeteners in, but if you want to do a carnivore frosting that's not going to have any sweetness because you just want to eat the fat, I would advocate taking whipped smooth cottage cheese, egg yolks, beef tallow, whipping the daylights out of it with vanilla, either yes or no, whatever the case may be, depending on your purest ideal of carnivores. I would definitely try that. So those are my opinions, in addition to a couple editorials that I really didn't expect to talk about tallow today. What? So be prepared, but you can do it. Set your mind to think, I have failed. I need a reset. How can I get over the hump? I can do it. I cannot eat for 24, 72, 48, a week, 5 days, 30 days. Psych yourself. If you're medically able to do it and you seek advice of your medical doctor about it, I would say go for it, because it really sets you in a different dimension. That's it. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Cheers.